Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be first and second impressions of some of the new makeup that I bought back in December before my no-buy started this January. So I'm going to be applying a full face of makeup as you can see today, and I'll be pointing out along the way which products are the new items in my collection. If this is your first time to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Morgan. I'm in the process of transitioning my makeup collection to only cruelty-free brands and products. I am also starting a no-buy and low-buy year this year, so if you are interested in either of those topics, please consider subscribing today. I would love to have you join us here on my channel. And let's go ahead and jump right into this first impressions today. Alrighty, so we are going for more of a casual, cozy vibe today with this makeup. My mom got me this sweatshirt for Christmas and it's just like, you know, faux Sherpa, like the whole sweatshirt. It's like a whole entire hoodie and I just love it. It's so cozy. So, yeah, we're going with cozy vibes today for sure. Before I started filming, I did just put on the Milk Makeup Brightening Stick, the Milk Makeup Cooling Water, and the L'Oreal Visible Lift Luminous Serum Tint onto kind of my whole face. So I do like to let all three of those products kind of sit on my skin for just a little bit before I go in with anything else. So I just did them ahead of time. And then I'm going in with concealer first today. I am mixing my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the Peach Corrector with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Corrector in the shade Fair. Just mix those up on the back of my hand like usual and dot it on where I need the most coverage. And this brings us to my first new product in this video. So if you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I bought these, but I bought a set of brushes from Prados Beauty. Oh, you can't see the little name very well, but you can see the name is stamped there. And I bought a huge brush set, came with, I believe, 9 eye brushes. I only have a little selection out here today that I'm going to use, and then 5 larger face brushes that I'll be using later in the video too. And this is supposed to be an eyeshadow brush, but it looks a little big for my eyes, so I'm going to use it as a concealer brush today and see how I like it for that. I'm going to bring just a little bit of concealer onto my eyelid as well to prep for later. Prados Beauty is an Indigenous-owned beauty brand. They were my last purchase. This brush set was my last purchase of 2020 before kind of kicking off my 2021 alternating no-buy and low-buy schedule, which starts with January as a no-buy month. So I was really glad to kind of get this last order in. This is a brand I've had my eye on for a while because their brushes just look incredible. They are synthetic, but they are some of the softest brushes I've ever felt in my life. I think that blended that concealer out super well. It maintained the coverage there, but blended out super quickly. So I'm happy to have another potential concealer brush in my arsenal because I've been using that one Real Techniques brush for my concealer for like ever. And although I like it, I do wash it more often than a lot of my other brushes just because I use it every single time I do my makeup. And it's starting to kind of see that wear and tear. And the same story goes for my Alpha Flawless base brush. It's what I use to blend out almost all of my like lower coverage, more creamy foundations, and I wash it a lot because of that. And I'm excited because in that set of Prados Beauty brushes, I got both of these more kind of dense brushes. So this one's very dense, but it's kind of small. So I don't know if that's gonna work super great for like my whole face. Whereas this one has this nice angle, but it's a little less dense, but has a little more surface area. So here they are side by side, a little more surface area, but not a ton. So I am going to try, I think, this one today just to see if I like it as a possible alternative for my whole face. If not, I think it's going to be perfect for like cream contour and bronzer. So I'm not going to be sad with this brush either way. Going in with my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. If you saw my Project Pan kickoff video. This is in my Project Pan, mostly because it's one of my favorite products of all time, but it's not cruelty-free. And I'm trying to use as much of it up as I can before it expires, which I think is coming soon on the horizon. So just trying to kind of get last use out of it before this is a formula that's no longer in my collection. And I changed my mind. I think I'm going to use this more like domed brush just to see. I mean, I think it'll spread it out quickly enough. Yeah, this brush is working for this. I don't know if it's my favorite. The reason I love my e.l.f. one so much that I use like in every video where you see me use a brush for my foundation is because it's this dense, like this one, but it's so much bigger. So it just covers my face super, super quickly. I will say, regardless of whether or not I decide I like this Prados Beauty brush for this particular purpose, it is extremely soft and feels so good on my skin. All right, and laying down a quick layer here of my Maybelline Cheek Heat blush. Again, another product just in my Project Pan. I really don't love this blush. I wouldn't really recommend it, but I'm just trying to use a little bit up. And I would use another one of the Prados Beauty brushes, like maybe that angled one I just showed as a potential for the foundation option. But I know from experience with this blush that no brush I've ever used works well with it. So I'm just gonna pat it in with my fingers. I don't want the Prados products to fail in any way in this video just because I'm using them with products that I know will not do well. I'm gonna try to build this up, even though I know it's physically not possible with this blush. Okie dokie, and the rest of my complexion products today are powders. So I'm going to go ahead and powder with my Physicians Formula Healthy Powder in the shade LN3. And I have these two different Prados brushes to choose from. And I think I wanna use this one for my bronzer today. So I think I'm gonna use this very like Big Daddy for my whole face powdering. And if you've watched any of my other videos, including like my winter makeup routine, you know that I don't usually powder my whole face in the winter time because I have really dry skin and I think it just emphasizes that. But I want my makeup to last really well today, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and powder it all. I'm also really curious about this brush as a whole face powder because it looks like you could really like build it up on one of these more like flat sides and really like pack it onto your skin, but it's also such a loosely packed brush that it's working really well for me right now just to kind of pat it across my skin. I just want to show you guys this because I think it's hilarious. When I tap this brush off, look at how like flimsy it is. It just like shakes so funny. I can't handle that. Okay, sorry. That has nothing to do with the quality of the brush, but it's some good entertainment. And I love this as a powder brush so far. I mean, like, I feel ridiculous. I don't think I've ever used a brush this big on my face, but maybe I need to because it's laying down like a flawless amount of powder. Like you can see it's not covering up the sheen and the natural glow that I'm getting from that like blush and stuff. Normally if I powder anywhere over a cream blush, it takes that shine away pretty quickly. So I guess this combination, this powder and this brush are actually gonna be really nice. I really like how that turned out, especially with my like dry winter skin. And now getting into some first impressions of two exciting brand new products for me. I have here the Nabla Skin Glazing products. I have one of their bronzers in the shade Ambra, not sure, and also the highlighter in the shade Privilege. So let me take them out of their packaging. This will be my actual first impressions of these. I've kept them in that plastic packaging they came in specifically because I wanted to resist the urge to even swatch them. So here again is Ambra. I'm honestly not sure. It's an Italian brand, so I feel like Ambra is probably the real name. And this is a bronzer. As you can see, it has a definite sheen to it, which is why I picked this up. Nabla was one of the brands in my 2021 brands I want to try this year. And I picked up this bronzer because I don't have any bronzers with a sheen. All of my bronzers are matte. And then I also grabbed the Skin Glazing in the shade Privilege, which is one of their highlighter shades. And you can see it's kind of like a rose gold champagne. It's definitely a lighter rose gold, but it has that pink undertone. And actually, I don't have any powders in that sort of like rose gold realm, but it's super similar to my Alma Beauty Double Take Contour Stick. And you all know how much I love this shade on my skin, particularly in the winter. So I was really excited at the chance to have that sort of a shade in like a powder format instead. So I'm going in with this kind of smaller fluffy brush from Prados Beauty and the bronzer from Nabla. Okay, I've swirled it in there like 10 times, and this is all that's on my brush. Maybe I need, well, okay, I like literally can't get anything on my brush. What's going on? But I think it's on my face. No bronzer, bronzer. I guess it's showing up. Oh boy, this could be dangerous for me because I can't see the product on my brush at all. And that makes it really hard for me because I'm like not sure quite how much I'm actually picking up. Is it picking anything up? Do you see any difference? Tell me if I'm crazy. Maybe I need like an even fluffier brush and it'll disperse a little nicer. I'm not sure what's going on here. I like literally cannot pick this product up on my brush. I'm like swirling, 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 and then this is what my brush looks like. But then I think it's getting on my skin, so like there's bronzer there, right? I mean, I'm happy with this result. I really like this shade. It's really nice. And I like the little bit of natural sheen. But that experience was really weird. On to the highlighter. I am using yet another Prados Beauty brush. This is like, I think, intended to be a highlighter brush. It's definitely smaller, more tapered. We're gonna see if I have the same sort of thing that just happened with the bronzer with this. So I'm a little anxious to like pick this up. What's going on? Look at this. There's just like nothing on my brush, but I'm like swirling, swirling, swirling. There's a little, okay, but that just looks like glitter, so now I'm nervous. Nope, never mind. I'll eat my words on that one. This is gorgeous. Certainly different experience with these products. I mean, like, I don't think it's possible to go overboard. So if you're someone who's like heavy-handed with your cheek products and you're looking for a formula that will just blend sort of seamlessly, I think this would be a really good option. I genuinely don't know how in the world you could possibly add too much of this. I mean, like I've put on, this is like my third or fourth layer on this cheek, and I think, you know, you can tell there's highlighter, but it's certainly very natural in comparison to other highlighters. If I built up 3 layers of any of my other highlighters, particularly powders, I would be glowing to the heavens. So these Nabla products are really interesting. It's a little disorienting because I genuinely like cannot tell how much product is on my brush because it looks like there's literally no product at all. Like just none, no product. But then somehow there's product going onto my face and it's so confusing for me. Could be a little disorienting, but like I said, if you tend to have a heavy hand and you need kind of like a way to tone yourself down, these seem like they'd be a really good option. I'll keep you all updated on how I feel about those as I kind of get more acquainted with them and have a better understanding of if they're supposed to be working that way, or if maybe I got a weird batch, or if other people have had the same experience before. So I like the result. Getting there was disorienting. Okay, for eyes today, I have 2 products from Glossier that were actually gifts to me from my future sister-in-law, Jane. I have their Skywash formula in the shade Terra, and then I have the Lidstar formula in the shade Cub. So I'm gonna try to do a little like warm, bronzy, pinky vibe going with these. And today is not my first time using this. So this is not a first impressions of these, but it is a second impressions. So I've only really messed around with them a little bit. I literally put Skywash on one eye, blended it out, and put Lidstar on the other and blended it out. And I think I'm gonna try this with a brush this time. I did it with my fingers the first time I used these, and it was an interesting experience. Not bad, but it was so messy. So I'm really only gonna put the Skywash kind of in my outer corner here, try to blend a little bit. I don't want to get it too far into that inner corner because I want the Lidstar to really pop. I don't know if it'll layer super great on top of here, so try to keep them kind of separate and distinct. Okay, I like this result way better than the time that I put it all over my eye. I think it was just a little bit too deep of a color to be like in my inner corner, but as an outer corner shade, this is gorgeous, and I do love how easily diffused the edges are. I have not tried this formula yet in terms of like longevity, so I'll have to kind of keep you guys posted. Like I said, when I powdered my whole face today, I am trying to kind of have my makeup last a little longer than usual today, so I might be able to leave down in the comments below if I do end up wearing this for, you know, a substantial amount of time. I'll leave a note about how the eye products wore. Just blending out a little bit on my lower lash line. I haven't really tried this yet. This little Prados Beauty brush is pretty awesome for this. I like this. It's not too stiff, but it's stiff enough that it's blending that in a nice, like, perfect line. Okay, and I didn't pick out a brush to use with the Lidstar, but I think it's actually going to work best with my fingers anyway. So, oop, that might have been a little much. A little bit of both of these products goes a super long way. So let me get my mirror out so that I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Ooh, now that I'm looking at this highlighter too in the mirror, man, that's pretty. So I'm just gonna blend this out, kind of try to blend it where it meets with the Skywash color, but as I kind of predicted, they don't layer super well. I mean, it's not like they're picking each other up, so it's fine. But you cannot see the Lidstar like at all where I lay it over the top of the Skywash. It kind of just like diffuses away when it's layered on top of there. So that could be, you know, just because of the colors that I have here. You know, they might layer totally fine with other shades, but with mine in particular, I think it's just the Lidstar doesn't have quite enough like oomph to be able to cover up a strong matte shade like that. And then I'm just going to use my little e.l.f. No Budget Shadow Stick in the shade Pearl, just right on this inner corner here to give just a little more brightness. Yeah, that nicely rounded it out. So definitely not my most like innovative eye look ever, but I'm trying to just get a feel for these formulas, their wear time, kind of, like I said, how they play together or how they play with other products like this e.l.f. product. So I'm gonna do this eye and then I'll be back. I did pull out a liquid black liner and also a pencil brown liner here just to see if maybe I wanted to add a little, and I think I will add a little bit of brown liner just kind of on the outer third here over the top of kind of where the Skywash is. And then I'm just going to use the other end of like the spoolie brush from Prados. It's supposed to be, I think, an eyebrow brush, but it'll work for this, just to kind of blend this a little more nicely. It's not quite such a harsh line here. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit on the lower lash line and do the same thing just to balance them out. Yeah, I think that brings just a little more definition you can see on this side than that eye has. So I'm gonna do my liner on this other eye, and then I'm gonna do mascara and brows off camera, and I'll be back to wrap up with lips. Okay, back with brows and mascara done, and if the lighting looks a little bit weird or different, it's because the sun started shining directly on my face, so I had to shut the blinds. So sorry about that, but that's kind of the trouble of filming in the middle of a day. So let's go ahead and wrap things up with lips today. All three of my lip products are actually new to me and fairly new to my channel. I've used 2 out of the 3 items twice. So this will be a third impressions, and then one of them, this will be my first impressions. So the first thing here is the Essence Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner, and I am using the shade Tea Time today. So I'm just gonna line my lips. As you all know, This is not my high point of filming, so I may cut some of it out. So there is the shade Tea Time in that lip liner. I really love it. It's just like a shade or two darker than my natural lips. So you can see the center here I didn't fill in and the edges I did fill in. So that's kind of how it compares to my lips if you have similarly pigmented lips to me. The lipstick today is from Mented Cosmetics. They're a Black-owned brand. This is their semi-matte lipstick in the shade Pretty in Pink. And this is a really gorgeous lipstick for me because it's the same like depth as my lip color in terms of like pigmentation level, but it's just like warmer, peachier than my naturally kind of like mauve toned lips. So it's a really nice way for me to get kind of like this peachier shade without making my lips any deeper of a shade. Mented calls this a semi-matte lipstick formula, but in my experience, it's definitely more of like a satin, a true satin. I don't get any sort of matteness from this at all. You can see there's quite a bit of reflection. It's super comfortable, very like lots of slip to it. Overall, I'm really liking this. It definitely has that like classic lipstick taste and smell, if you know what I mean, like that classic old school drugstore scent. I appreciate that it's not fragranced. A lot of times lip products are fragranced and I just don't love that. And I do like the shade. I mean, I think that this is a really good, like, you know, everyday casual shade for me. I don't see myself reaching for this in the winter a ton. Just because it is that more like peachy bright shade, I think it'll be a really good like spring and summer shade for me. And ironically, the last thing up here is another lip product that does have a scent. So this is my first impressions of this product actually on my lips, but I have opened it, smelled it, etc. And this is the Kosas Wet Lip Oil, and I have the shade Jellyfish, which in the bottle looks a little like pinkish, but it's definitely clear. I ordered a few Kosas lipsticks with this same order, and I've been loving those lipsticks so much, so I have really high hopes for this lip gloss. Like I said, it has a scent. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of smells like candy to me, like no specific candy. I'm sure it smells like a specific candy, but I can't put my finger on it. But it smells very sweet, like artificial scent. Lip gloss, I mind that a little less. If my lipstick is scented, I really hate it. But lip gloss, I, for some reason, have a little more forgiveness. So I just dipped it in once, let the little like, you know, thing in here take off however much it's going to, and we'll see kind of how that applies. Well, that's certainly high shine. I don't think enough comes off on this little thing. Like, I don't think enough comes out, I should say. Too much comes off and stays in the container because look how much of my lipstick it picked up. And I know that happens. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that that should never happen. I just think if there's enough lip gloss on the little applicator, on the doe foot, it usually doesn't pick up quite so much of my lipstick. I think if I dip back in, I would get even more high shine. So let's just try it really quick. I'm gonna wipe this off in between just because I don't want to taint this nice clear gloss. So dipping back in. So for me, this is a two dip lip gloss, which I'm totally fine with. Okay, so that wraps up this partial face of new products and first impressions this week. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and commenting down below. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.